I'm not interested in anything more than you realizing your full potential. I run this like a business. You're going to become a company. If you don't buy into this fantasy, you're not going to get anything out of this experience. It's more complicated than anything we've attempted so far. But we're trying to get something done. Something extraordinary. Something that will look really good on your resume. If you're in, be in all the way. And I'll be there with you.
Here at the California Academy of Math and Science, Engineering, Design, and Development, or EDD, is a senior high school engineering capstone course that replicates a real-world business environment. Each year, class periods are formed into teams and must compete against each other to complete a mission at college-level difficulty. We are Versoa Technologies, the first main green team in the history of EDD, and here is our story. Before we were Versoa Technologies, we were just Period 2 EDD. Each year, class periods are given the task to design a device that safely launches an egg at least 20 feet. Whoever wins gets first pick of the available team colors and even cash in their team bank account. This period of time was essential in establishing our team identity. We didn't win, but we kept trying even when the challenge was over. I think that's really representative of our team. From the beginning, we were always a class that prioritized the growth of each other over competing with the other teams. With that in mind, we centered our team identity on growth, everything from our team motto, our vision and mission statement, even our team name. Versoa happens to be Finnish for sprout. All that was left was for this year's mission to be revealed. This is where the real chaos began.
Well, life's feeling good right now, but once the project happens, I don't know, I feel like excitement plus dread. It's been 3 years, and it's finally happening, so we'll see.
Today's the day. I hope you're not disappointed.
Our game of Quidditch will be played on the CAM's basketball courts and is composed of 3 main objectives for the robot to complete. The first objective of the Griffinbot is to locate a cave containing the Griffin Egg, which will act as a quaffle. The Griffinbot must walk into a cave for a minimum distance of 20 feet to secure the quaffle. After locating the quaffle, the Griffinbot must fly through a series of Quidditch hoops and make its way toward the basketball hoop with its respective team color on the backboard. Each quaffle dropped in the hoop will result in a 10-point game for the team. Another task for the Griffinbot is to catch the Golden Snitch, which will be flying around the arena. Catching the Golden Snitch will result in a 50-point gain for the team. There are specific requirements for the design of the Griffinbot itself. To start, since a Griffin is a hybrid creature, the robot will be a hybrid mechanism. The bot must have bipedal motion. The bot must also be able to fly for 20 minutes but cannot have propellers. This will be known as the hybrid drone aspect of the Griffinbot. In order for the bot to locate the cave, the Griffin Egg, and the Golden Snitch, the Griffinbot must possess robotic vision. The Griffinbot must be able to retrieve items with claws on its feet.
You have the opportunity to build the first bipedal walker at this school. I have faith in your talents and abilities. You have a legacy to fulfill. You have 251 days to complete this mission. Your time starts now.
Like, beyond us, like, bipedal walking is somewhat possible, doable. Yeah, but there's like, how do you fly without propellers? How? Iron Man. Like, one of the two would be doable. But like, how do you do both? We have to pick up with claws. Like,
articulation test.
we need articulation like claws. All that's secondary to figuring out how to fly without propellers. That's like basically he wants us to make Iron Man. All right.
My biggest goals for the team is really just focused on the team actually. I just want everyone in Versoa Technologies to get something out of this experience. We're only high schoolers and this is a really good experience. Even when they go off to college and get their jobs, they can really use this experience to help enhance their skill set as well as stand out from the crowd. My personal goal is to grow as a leader, especially adjusting to this type of group of people. Versoa Technologies, we're full of so many diverse people, and in order to really guide them and trust them, I think a different type of leader, a different type of approach is really necessary. I'm really embracing this bottom pyramid leadership structure where the project manager is at the very bottom. I want to really assist people, and through this way I think I can really grow as a fit leader but not a perfect leader, and I think that's what matters to me.
My name is Queenie Jose. I'm the Chief Financial Officer.
My name is Denman, and I'm the Financial Communications Officer.
So we're trying to do at least 2 to 3 fundraisers every month. This is just to make sure that we're having consistent progress towards our goal at the end of the year, to make sure that we have money to purchase things, purchase items. So our goal as a finance team, all together, fundraising, plus donors and everything, we want to raise $10,000. That's a lot!
Hopefully, with everything that we're gonna do, because we have a few plans, it works out, because this is one of the hardest projects in EDD that has ever been conceived. So, we're looking forward to taking out the challenge.
Now, this is based on your data, right? Because everyone in the class did this Google form, so this is as close to a unified design as we're going to get. So just based on the probability map and the statistical analysis that we did, it looks like inverted knee, ducted fan, and two-prong claw came out pretty clear winners. So those are going to be included in the design for sure. It looks like projectile net came out ahead by 2%. So in total, our final design is going to be inverted knee, ducted fan drone, two-prong claw, and projectile net.
Success seems pretty high, a lot of us seem confident, so I don't think why it shouldn't work.
Possibly feasible, yeah, but I'm not sure about the net.
We're going to be doing a lot more in-depth research on the specifications for the product. So we want to be looking at statistics. You want to be looking at what's the thrust ratio for this, how much torque does the servo provide, so then we can get an encompassed view of what is on the market and what can we use.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Pagdanganan, and I am the ADD Mechanical Director for Versoa Technologies. As a sub-team, me and my members have accomplished a great deal in advancing our team towards our goals.
Over the year, the mechanical sub-team has helped CAD both the aerial and ground system, followed by a gimbal system that helps the robot pivot in place.
Me and Alexis were assigned with a specific role to figure out a system to be able to catch the snitch.
We did the CADing, we did everything from the CADing to actually picking out the parts, to the physical creation of the mechanism.
After some testing, we learned that it was able to carry out its task working 100% of the time.
Hello, my name is Frank Chico, and I'm the electrical lead. Choosing the new motors, choosing the better battery, the servos, the battery for the servo, the microcontrollers, the Pixie Hawk and such, and the radio controllers. So that was something that my team developed and implemented into the robot.
Our team also worked on creating electrical schematics, which are important to help guide us through finding the right components and working with other sub-teams to figure out how everything's going to work together. And we also did a little bit of component testing with motors.
Today is November 20, which is the day of this space presentation. We're here practicing.
That's right, sir.
Making sure we're on top.
Let's get in order. Let's get in order. Everyone knows how it goes, right? So I'm going to call you guys up. You guys are going to go in like this, right? And then we're going to get out the door that's going to be around here.
Is that it, everyone?
All right. Practice will begin in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so this is all the work that we did for the past 2 months, and I am grateful for all of you for even presenting and working on the project itself. Let's kill it out there. Versoa on 3. 1, 2, 3. Versoa! Alright, let's go.
We're here in front of Mr. Carver's, and in about 3 minutes we're going to be doing the SPS presentation for Versoa Technology.
It's our first presentation out of a total of 5, so we're all kind of nervous right now, but we have our stuff situated. I think everyone's ready. I think it's packed house right now, so we're going to be seeing a lot of new faces. We're going to be making a lot more networking, and I can't wait to hand these cards out. Oh, dude. Versoa Technologies.
Wait.
If you want to send an email, go for it.
Go for it.
We had over 6 companies here. Raytheon, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, TiVo Engineering. They value what you're doing here. They respect you. They appreciate what goes on here. I feel like your presentation, I don't like to say there's a winner and a loser anymore. Your presentation was excellent to the highest degree. It was well thought out, it was well executed. There was a lot of data that was asked from the other two groups, a lot of questions from the other two groups, because they didn't present the same amount of data that you presented. And you did it in a kind of semi-layman, semi-professional way so that everybody could understand what you were delivering.
I would say that this year, my favorite memory from EDD has to be the night of SPS.
But the last 2 weeks leading up to it were just filled with complete and utter stress. So pulling out the documents together and then watching it all come together in front of the industry partners and people who came to see us in person and on the live stream was just really satisfying.
Just feel so much tension being at our first critical design review. All the work we had done up to that point was so vital. The tensions and nerves are all there. And as nerve-wracking as it was, the feeling of accomplishment afterwards, after presenting, after answering questions and walking out of the classroom was probably the most rewarding thing so far I basically had this year.
When you're all in your groups and then you work on the things that you work on and then you get those things done, you say, okay, well, I got this part done. When you see it in the context of the entire presentation, when all the groups have presented what they've done and how far you came, when I showed you the initial slides of what the project was, Shohan's up here when he's got his head in his hands because he's just like, this is crazy. But last night, you showed that crazy is possible. Hopefully you all realize this is not impossible. This can be done. You're high school students. There's no high school doing this in the country. You're doing it. So you should be proud of those things. And hopefully it gives you motivation to push on to complete your mission because you can do this.
Hi, my name is Cassie Delgado. I'm the Director of Outreach.
Hi, my name is Diamond Moore, and I am an Outreach Officer. And our objective here in the Outreach Department is to educate elementary, middle school students of the STEAM fields. With it being an ever-growing field, we find that by providing with the knowledge about the field, we provide them with more opportunities for the future.
The way we plan to do this is we want to go to middle school and elementary schools, and our plan is to create escape rooms for the kids that have about 4 to 5 activities per escape room. These escape rooms would be identical, so it's just to get through different groups of kids. We're developing an app that will help guide them through the escape room, so it's basically telling them step by step that, oh, they should do this activity, and then we'll help them through it in order to get them engaged in the material. I made a whole spiel about what we had to do this year. So I talked about how the robot had to be bipedal and how it had to fly and how it had to pick something up off the ground and how it had to catch something mid-air. And I was listing all these requirements. These kids and even their parents, they looked in awe, like how are a bunch of high school students supposed to do this?
And you could see how their faces lit up completely, just hearing about how cool this program is and the different things we get to do. And so that was kind of one of the best things that I noticed, just knowing that they never had the opportunity to do what we're doing. And that by coming here, they get to do the same things.
Us being there and telling them that, oh, we're going to do this, it's not some fantasy idea. It looked like it inspired them, they actually cared, that they were just amazed by the idea that anybody could do this. I know when I was in middle school, I didn't get the chance to experience any aspect of the STEAM field really, because we were in a low-income community. When I was younger, I would have appreciated things like this because I would have known from early on that I was interested in science and that I think certain aspects of engineering are interesting. Being part of Outreach and EDD as a whole, giving back to kids and letting them see the interesting things in what we do, I think it will help inspire them and make them want to pursue this.
It's an Arduino servo. We're using these for our prototype of the intake. So these are going to go on the legs so they rotate like this.
Alright, so we started testing, or we want to start testing. So Systems is having us make mock parts. So we're making them out of wood first. So these are to mock our feet. And then this here is going to be our hip. So this here is going to have all of the ascending parts together. And also we're planning to have some servos on here so that we can spin the top.
My name is Albert Chen. I'm the Director of Programming.
And Kevin Kubota, I'm a Program Engineer.
My name is Renzi Vesperas. I'm a programming engineer.
We're the programming team, and so far we've been looking into how we want to code the Pixhawk, which is what we're using to make the robot fly.
Also, we've been looking into bipedal motion and looking at real-life models that reflect what our bot is going to look like. For example, we've been looking at how ostriches move. They also have the inverted knee, so we're using that as a model or a basis to code our system.
Having to program something that walks, like actually walks, and with 2 legs only, it's a lot different than what I'm used to. We've also looking into our vision system, which is YOLO, or you only look once, which will allow us to detect the snitch in the air and basically follow it around and catch it when we need to.
I usually work within a smaller group, and in EDD I'm working with a bigger group, almost like we're in a company with different subgroups.
I would say it's a lot different because we have to work with a lot more people.
In EDD we have to communicate with other subgroups, that way we get to reach our goal much more faster and efficiently.
Right now, this is the stage where instead of us all working on things as a group, now we're going to break it down a little bit more into being specialized in certain parts of the robot. So it's not that we're getting more away from each other, it's just people need to be more technical in certain aspects. So when people ask us questions, some people, because they're going to be really, really technical, are going to be able to answer some of those questions that are pertaining to really, really small things like catching the snitch, because not everyone knows about that, doesn't know all the finite details, along with quaffle and all of the other aspects of our mission.
After like a lot of iterations, this is like our most current design for our bipedal walking mechanism. How everything is mounted is through these little housing mechanisms that we have for the servo motors. Before, this whole side right here was just blank, there was no support there. But what I plan to do here is to have a bearing right here and a bearing right here, and a dowel going through it to provide like some sort of like axis to rotate around. Our job as mechanical members revolves mostly around designing the robot through computer-aided design software such as Autodesk Fusion. So training was probably one of the more difficult tasks in terms of allowing my sub-team to work together. But after spending the first couple of months training my sub-team in building their technical skill sets, the rest was fairly easy.
We need to really clutch up. So we're aiming for the 4th, which is the original POC date, which means that there's today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. We basically finish the robot, finish writing up, and then Cindy will do a lot of work with our document, and then media will prepare most of the presentation. And don't worry about the presentation right now. We have to finish the document so we can transfer that information onto the presentation. So we're gonna have to clutch up, we're gonna have to do things a lot, but we're not in a panic state. All right. Thank you guys so much for working, and let's get to work. All right.
Hi, my name is Denman. I'm the Director of Media here at Versoa Technologies. The main purpose of media in an engineering company is to develop the team image. We do things from making the presentations to making our publication documents with our social media. Additionally, we have to make a documentary at the end of the year, which is what you're watching right now. And basically translating all of this technical information into something really digestible and something sort of visual for people to look at. That way it's accessible to both really skilled engineers or a parent who wants to check in on what we're doing. It was a really fun environment, it was creative, and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, things had to come to a premature close due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Since we're struggling with the pandemic, most of you are interested in completing the documentary and the TDP and kind of calling it a day after that. We might be able to run the mission at the end of the summer before you go off to college, if it's safe to do so. The other option is to even do it next winter break, because I hate to see you guys put all this effort into it and not really have much to show for it. So if you're interested in continuing with trying to come up with something, again, I can make myself available for that when it's safe to do so.
During quarantine, we tried completing 3 tasks, and that was the TDP, technical data package, our drone, and the walking mechanism.
We'll start off with the technical data package. We broke down our whole entire technical department to complete this task. So each person got a certain amount of drawings. Those drawings were completed, and then those drawings went through 2 quality assurance checks to make sure that the drawings were up to spec. And then from there, they were put inside a booklet that allowed someone to pick up the booklet and be able to build a robot from those item drawings. As for the drone, only one person was able to have it during quarantine, so they furthered the flighting capabilities, and they also programmed the Pixie Hawk controller to allow us to have more stable flight. For the walking mechanism, we furthered the capabilities of walking, we streamlined the efficiency of the walking mechanism, and we also further developed the intake system.
My favorite EDD memory would have to be recently, a week before the school closed down. Now, we had just built the aerial system fairly recently. We were trying to test how it would react with our newly paired controller. And the first attempt was fairly successful. We were able to get it off the ground. The second attempt, however, we accidentally scraped the ground as the propellers were not synced up. But even though it was a failure, it was something funny and comical to look back on, and just shows that every mistake, every failure that you have during the design process is just another rung in the ladder that leads up to success later on.
My favorite memory from EDD was probably the first day that our PM Min gave us the day off so that we could just have fun and play games with each other. And I think it was a very memorable day for me, because usually in EDD we're all working hard, doing everything, and we're not really thinking about taking a break, having a good time. And it's really important to be able to relax and enjoy yourself sometimes. And it was also a moment when I realized that our CSs, our PMs, they're all people too. We can all have fun with each other.
Our team has done good within the school year, as we were able to achieve our goals of setting up appropriate STEM activities for middle schoolers and elementary schoolers. Also, we were able to reach out to a good amount of schools before the coronavirus took over the world.
The bonds that I've made with my sub team are definitely what motivated me to keep going. There were a lot of times where I just wanted to give up, but every time I came into class, I felt excited to work with these people, which in turn made everything we did together something I was proud of.
I never really animated anything, especially a video. I was able to watch some of the reactions from the industry partners through the little window of the door, and it was pretty rewarding to see such a positive reaction to the video and to see all of that work pay off in the end. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I think from EDD I've learned a lot about socializing with others, as well as getting to know a diverse group of people, since a lot of the times when you're working in a group, you need to learn how to talk to different people. But either way, it's taught me a lot about working with a team and how you just need to be very persistent and just have faith in your team members.
It was important to come together as a whole and make decisions based on what would work best for the team. I also learned how important it is to research every aspect of the task before starting it. I was able to get my voice heard without being criticized by others, which encouraged me to start participating more and being more active.
In the beginning, I was really scared to make mistakes, and over time I've kind of learned to embrace that, because it's something that's inevitable. If you don't make mistakes, then exactly how are you growing in the first place? So it's just learning how to get over that fear. No matter who you are, no matter what skill set you have something you could bring to the class. Don't be afraid to talk.
I think the most important thing I learned from overseeing media this year was to ask others for help. My team is really talented in different areas. We have Cindy, who's really good at making our publication documents. We have Anais, who's really good at graphic design and animation. And we have Crystal, who has been helping me with the filming this year. I don't think anything we did this year would have been as special if we hadn't collaborated and meshed well in the way that we did.
It's all about teamwork. If everyone does their job, then they'll get the job done. It's not about being like the leader. It's all about putting the team before yourself and making sure that everyone works well together.
Something that we thought
was near impossible at the beginning. We thought, well, there's no way we can make something like this. I mean, we only know how to make a robot move on wheels. We were able to show off the idea of how it's going to work. We haven't been able to get it to autonomously move yet, but getting the robot to walk with the bipedal setup was really cool and really cool to see when you look back upon. Yeah, I think that was something that that I'm really proud of as something that we were able to do.
In the beginning, I put a lot of thought into how I could be a good project manager for the team. And our team dynamics is like really different from a lot of the team dynamics that I've dealt with. What our team was able to create was a really, really fun and enjoyable work experience. Every time we go into the meeting, it's like everyone's very quiet, but they're all very attentive, and like when we do work, like we're not like really doing work, like we're just having fun and trying to like really accomplish this goal that we all believe in. And I think that's also something that makes our team stand out from the rest.
2, 1.
We are Versoa Technology.